All right, guys. We'll go ahead and get started in like 1 minute. Just get out some paper, pen, take down some notes. Got some good stuff. I was looking through some of my notebooks from the last, couple years. I've been involved with VEMA. 1 second. I just want to show you guys, because this is kind of interesting. Give me a second while we wait for everybody to grab something to write with. These are my notebooks since I started in VEMA, full of notes. And as simple as it kind of is, I mean, just keeping track of your notes, because I started reviewing some of my notes, and I actually have one of the things I'm going to be talking about. Just having your notes, kept somewhere where you're not going to lose them. Because, so many people, they take notes, and then they never review them ever again. They never even look at them. It's like, what's the point of even taking notes if you're never going to review it? All right. All right. Go ahead and start here in just a second. Okay. So today, happy Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday out here in the US. So it's like a freaking holiday for people here. It's actually funny. Last year, during Super Bowl, if some of you guys on here know him, Marcel Mendoza. I was with him in Sweden and Malmo, working with the team that they had out there this time last year. So I just thought that was kind of funny. So today, I'm going to talk about culture. Building a culture within your team. These are some of my notes when I went to the Eric Worre, like just one day, live training in 2013. So I just wanted to, talk on, a few of these points here, because I think there's a lot of value that, is added to, to what you're trying to create within your group, right? So, culture, the start of culture is, what do you want, to be known for? What do you want your team to be known for? Do you want your team to be known as the team with, the, most consistent people? Do you want your team to be known as, like Jed Blenaluz has, like, crazy culture. Some of you guys may know him. His culture, they wear blue ties and wear black suits, like everything. So their colors are like blue and black. So that's like their culture that they kind of create. So it's just like looking at, what do you want to be known for? What does your group celebrate? And you have to kind of have a few things together within your culture that are always a standard. So it's just like kind of creating a few commitments that describe your organization. um, in us as the leaders, you as the leader of your organization, you have to be the one that shows and commits to the culture more than anyone. Show the culture, show the intensity of the culture that you're trying to create. Whether you basically, within your culture, it's like you create the way that your team perceives the way that you're going to build your business. They see, because some cultures, you could see like some teams will grow very slowly because their culture is they'll only do one home event a week, and that's how they think that it's supposed to be done. So that's their culture. And some other teams, they'll do 5 home events in one day, and that's a culture that they create, and it's a normalcy that is created from the new people coming into the business. That's what they see. And I want all of you guys to understand, you as the leaders on here, when you enroll somebody new into the business, you're creating the normalcy for them. So what may have been a way something was done in the past, you could change with the future people because they're new. you have the opportunity to get them fresh start into your business and show them the way that you had wanted it to be done in the past that may have not been done that way. And that's one thing that we're starting to do out here. And they're starting to move pretty quick. So I know I talked about him, I think last time, but this new guy, Seth Zudell, that I enrolled, he's been in for, about 2 weeks now. He's at his second cycle, he's on his second frenzy already as well. And his team's already built out to about 12 people. And so within his group, we're creating, this certain culture and building it around events. So every single, like one of, our big focal points, at every single event, to every single new person that I'm talking about, is February 21st. We're doing a Super Saturday. We're going to have over 100 people at the Super Saturday. We're really building this culture of, people that want to change their life in 2015 and either health standpoint, financial, time, or skill set. And we're launching, February 21st, we're collecting this group. We're going to have over 100 people there, and then, lead into our company's convention in Phoenix with 300-400 people. And, we're going to create massive success stories this year in 2015. So it's just like really showing them, what it's like creating a purpose bigger than what we're doing right now. So it's like, we're going to create this, and we're trying to attract people that want to be a part of something that's going to get bigger. And so it's kind of the, one of the things that we're really like pushing for on the commitments there. And how intense it is, and how focused, are you staying focused, like with your, within your groups. And basically, another part of, creating the culture that you want. So it's like you guys obviously finding out, the way that you want your, businesses to run within the culture that you're trying to create right now. And you have to be constantly reinforcing the reason behind why you're doing each individual task. So when it comes to like a verbal commercial, for example, so the new person, like with what I'm doing, we're really trying to reinforce February 21st. And, so I was telling this guy that's on our team, his name's Justin Cody, yesterday. I was like, the reason why, again, like just pounding it in their heads, February 21st is going to be the event that launches your business and, takes your income to that next level. So it's so important we get over 100 people there. So you want to have as many people as possible in your team at that event that you could possibly get there. And, the reason being is, everyone's going to come together. They're going to have such a massive amount of excitement and motivation and belief and understanding all from that one day that everybody's going to go out and take massive action the weeks and months to come right after that event. So, just kind of drilling it in people's heads that they're like, oh, I need to get 100 people at that event. I need to get, more people in the business so we could come with, 100 people to that event. So it's just kind of the whole idea there, and the vision, sharing the vision with your team of why the culture you're creating is, going to be big. Why you talk to your team about, we're going to get 50, 100, 150 people at convention this year, and you talk to your team about like the European convention, and you tell them like, we want to get this many people there, and you talk about the vision of why. Be like, for every one person, some of you guys this may be new to, if for every one person that you get to go to an annual convention for a company, this is Eric Worre's numbers, adds $1,000 US to your annual income. So, and it's held pretty true for me for the events that I've had. So if you want to make $50,000 US, so 160,000 kroner in a year. I think that's probably not right numbers actually. I'm not good at math, but obviously you guys can do the math. 50,000 US times 6, that was times 3. But you can kind of do the math on that of how many people that you want to get to that event. And so I really want to stress creating the culture, some sort of culture within your groups. And obviously, having the game plan kind of set with your group for the culture, like, hey, we're I think you guys have been doing a great job of promoting like the conventions, and February 7th, Stockholm. I talk about that every single time on here. And after this call, think about some people that may have just gotten started that you could maybe squeeze somehow to get them to Stockholm, to get them to that event, so that they could be a part of that. Let's see. Oh, and this is this is one good thing, because obviously facts tell, stories sell. Um, and when you're talking about the culture that you're trying to create, like looking at say the example of a convention, right? One person, say one person's like, yeah, I don't really care to get as many people to the convention. I'm gonna go and just tell a couple people on my team about it. Great, whatever. And another person that drills going to convention into their team, that we need to get every single person possible to convention to be a part of that event. The results are obviously going to be very, very different. So maybe share a story. You could talk about somebody that got, or maybe one of you guys that got X amount of people to convention last year, and what the results from those people going turned into. And then maybe you could talk about somebody that didn't go to convention, or didn't want to bring people to the as many people to the convention, and what their results are. So you can kind of just telling the stories with that. Let's see. um and within your culture that you're creating within your teams, obviously recognition, recognizing the people doing the work, really, even to the bronzes. When you get new bronzes, how are you celebrating it? One a new guy, Seth, obviously within hitting bronze, I'm celebrating with him, and gonna take him, I bought him a flip book, and really taking him more under the wing, and really helping groom his skills up, and taking more time personally with them, and gonna take him out to eat for rank advancing. So just like how are you recognizing a new rank advance? Is bronze a big deal in your group? Like when somebody's building up to bronze, is it just a Facebook shout out, hey, congrats to so and so, they hit bronze? Or is it like, wow, you hit bronze, congratulations, give them a call, dude, I'm so proud of you. Or hey girl, I'm so proud of you for what you've been able to accomplish. Bronze is a huge, like, what kind of culture are you creating? Is bronze important to your team, or is it just kind of like, hey, good job? you know um and let's see. Another good thing about culture, that within creating in your culture, is peer pressure. um, Talking about, announce in front of the group what people are going to be doing. Hey, let's see, for example. So say, Thomas is on here, and he announces in front of the group. He's like, I'm going to go gold by this time. Everybody in the group is there to hold Thomas accountable. They're all there to see it. So, all of his peers are around him seeing that. Or Tiriel's like, I'm gonna go platinum by this date in front of a group of people. It's creating the culture of, everybody's, knowing what everybody's goals are, so they could kind of hold each other accountable. Let's see. Let's see. Incentives. I'm not sure if you guys do this too much within your groups out there, but incentives, um, we did it a lot more in the past, but I'm starting to now more out here. Is some of like the new guys say, like, hey, if you hit a frenzy bonus, by such and such date, we're gonna take you, take you out to dinner, and we'll buy you something, like something just like small, like you know and like nothing like too crazy, but just like the recognition and like little like competitions here. Hey, if somebody's, say last RA they hit, 2 cycles, and they're trying to, and they didn't hit balanced team bonus. Talk about next RA, hey, if you hit silver and balanced team bonus this month, we make that push, let's, we're gonna do such and such for you. So given like an incentive on top of what they're doing it for. So these little incentives, competitions, um, and let's see. Um, and another thing is, within the culture, giving kind of assignments, telling your team what they need to do, not being like a manager, or a boss, but just giving them assignments, because a lot of time the newest people within all of your guys' groups, they need assignments, because most people are used to working a job, or they're used to going to school. And what are you given in school? You're given assignments. What are you given to do at work? Assignments. what, and then, do they have to be completed by such and such date? Yes, in both scenarios. So with your newest people, like, one of these newer guys, this guy Justin and Cody that I was talking about, I was like, hey, you just got your new guy started, by, get him added to the Facebook group, get him to print out his success document, and, get him on the Vima first 7 days so he could start going through that. And he's like, okay, sounds good. And then I followed up with him later the night. I'm like, hey man, did you get Brian on, the success doc and all that stuff, set up? And I saw he welcomed to the Facebook group. He's like, yep, got it all done. So just like giving those little assignments, and it wasn't like, hey, you need to go work harder or anything. It's like, no, it's, just giving little tasks and assignments to your team, like simple things that they could do that's going to help lead them towards getting their results. And so I know it's, kind of all over a lot of different stuff. I'm talking kind of fast and everything, but I just want to talk about, the culture. What kind of culture are you creating within your group? Is your culture a serious one where people are trying to, create, massive results? Or, look in your group, is your culture a group of people that, aren't that driven, aren't that motivated, or just kind of want to hang out? They just want to hang out. They don't really want to do the work. And you could kind of review and like, okay, what, is there too much social time? Is there not enough, business activity happening? How can you change that? And everything can change with the newest person. Somebody that's already been in the business and they've been doing things a certain way, they tend to stay doing things a certain way. So it's harder to get somebody to change than it is to get somebody new on board to do it a different way. So if you want to change the culture in your group, guys, and getting new people started and building the foundation around that group of how you want the culture to look and what you want it to, turn into. So, really the challenge, guys, is, looking at, I'm, seeing everybody on here, Martin, Truls, T Real, Thomas, Roger, Christian, Eric, Christian, R.A. Anders, looking at, in business, are you happy? Number one, like, are you happy with where it is currently right now? And if you're not, what was happening when you were most happy with your business? What were you doing for your business when your business was doing its best? And you got to look at, what you're doing now versus then. And if you have your team, isn't producing, you got to be the one that leads the charge. The funny thing is, obviously, I'm talking about, my other leg a lot in this, but like when I started enrolling some people within that other leg, a lot of other people on that other, side of the organization saw that and started enrolling. And they hadn't been in the last couple months, really. It's been slower over there. So the idea was, the leader has to do it before everybody else is going to. What you want your team to do, you must do. So if you're sitting there and you're like, my team needs to enroll, I need to, my team needs to get more people, we need to, add more people into the business, you have to ask yourself, are you enrolling people yourself? Are you taking initiative to get in the trenches, pull out your list of people? Are you making the invites? Are you building the relationships? And are you getting people to events? Are you hosting home events to, get people started so your team can see you're doing what you're teaching them to do? Because, a great leader isn't somebody that tells people what to do or how to do it or anything like that. A great leader is somebody that they could do what they want their team to do and show them by, just really by leading by the example. So, the February 7th event, coming up, next Saturday, I would, heavily be promoting your guys to get there. If anyone else, you can squeeze to get to that event, because the next couple of months are going to determine, a lot of the, next 6 months of how your business is going to be going. So, really look at it, work this week and, on getting those new PEQs into the business. People are looking for change right now. Focus those 4 areas. People want to improve finances, health, time, skill set. Find the need for people, build the relationships, and, start creating the culture that you want to within your group. If you want a culture that moves fast, move fast. If you want a culture that moves slow, move slow. You got to push the sense of urgency. And last little like kind of tidbit that I want to add in here, guys, is I was hearing this speaker, Nick Luvano. He's presidential from California, and he he was telling his story about when getting started, and when he was at his event, when he was like thinking about getting started, he told the person who invited him, he's like, it sounds, great, I think I could, in about a week, I'll be able to get started. And this is what he said. He's like, the person who invited him told him that, if you're not going to get started right now, or within, the next 24 hours, you probably shouldn't even do it if it's not that big of a sense of urgency. So he told him that, and he's like, well, why? And he said this. He's like, if you wait a week to get started, you're gonna attract more people like that. So you wait a week, so next Sunday you get somebody, you get started, you get somebody to an event, and what are they gonna say? Oh, I'll get started in another week, and then that person's gonna attract another person that wants to wait. What? Oh, I'll get started in another week. I don't have the money. People could find the money, right? So if they keep saying, another week, another week. What are they going to be building? They're going to be building a business of weak people, right? Like people that are waiting weeks to join. That's going to be the slowest freaking form of growth ever. So we really, stressing, he was really talking about stressing the urgency, so it's stressing the urgency with the people that are like, oh, a week, just show them, show them the position. Be like, look, this position is open. It may not be later today. It may not be tomorrow. Definitely in a week, it's going to be filled. So, if you got to figure it out, sell something, like find the money to, make this thing happen if it's important. But, I kind of liked, him just kind of talking about that. But, kind of in closing, guys, June 11th through 14th, convention plans for Phoenix, Arizona. If you plan on coming out, the canning facility, we'll do tours of that. Corporate office tours there as well. And then, I'm going to get in the works of planning a fun event for all of you guys that come out here for us to do just as a team, something fun together. For all of you guys that came and did paintballing last year. It probably won't be that again, but, we'll probably do something that's a little bit more friendly for everybody to participate in without getting hurt. But basically from there, guys, again, marking the schedule, the calendar, talking about June 11th through 14th convention, and then also talking about Munich within your teams. And obviously the most nearest one, Stockholm, February 7th. So, with that, guys, let's have a great week this week. If your business isn't growing, it's up to you. You got to get your newest people personally enrolled. You can't look at anyone else. You can't look at your downline, upline, crossline, anyone. It's up to you if you want this thing to grow. So with that, guys, I'm excited. Let's have a great week. Talk to all of you guys soon. Bye for now.